welcome all our future Rama families and say thank you so much for joining us tonight. My name is Mrs. Chang. I'm the assistant principal, and I'm here to welcome all our families tonight into the 8th grade parent orientation or informational night. I think the special thing about Diamond Bar High School is that we either come from our community, we are also parents, and we also come with some expertise that we have so that we can guide your students to the perfect route of education and the balance of social emotional care. So without further ado, I will introduce some of the faces to you. We have our highlights of the night. We have Mr. Patterson and Mrs. Duenas, who are your grade level coordinators. And for short, it is a GLC, and you'll see that acronym quite often. They are your guidance counselors that will be with your students for the next 4 years. And we will go into more details about how their care and guidance for academics as well as for social care will be incorporated into your student and future Brahma for the next 4 years. We also have our wonderful deans who are experts at curriculum and instruction, and they make sure that the safety and the access into the instruction is well provided and up to date and has the balance of rigor and also the access to the collaboration, communication, networking skills with the soft skills as well as the brain skills that your students will need for post-secondary and for current needs. So we have Julie Galindo. Yay. We have Gabe Aguilar. And we have our department chair, Jennifer Burns. We also have our activities director, who is Jenna Van Horn, also an alumni from Diamond Bar High School, and makes sure that the culture and climate is well and exciting and as fun as possible for your students, as well as taking care of student leadership. We also have another alum, Albert Lim, who is our athletics director, and he will just share with us about our athletics program. And then we have Dr. Ruben Jones, who is our principal, and he will lead us into introductions on how you can also get involved as a parent.
Wonderful. Thank you, Ms. Chang. And I know you introduced yourself, but I want to take the honor of saying welcome to our assistant principal, Ms. Chang. Please give her an air clap, a round of applause. So parents and students, we are so excited to welcome you to this 8th grade parent night, and the message that you're going to hear is really good. So I'm so excited to listen in. I do want to take a moment and credit our parents that are key members of our school culture and of involving all the things that make Diamond Bar a great place. So to start off, we have our Magnificent Seven, and there are 7 parent groups. Now there's one person in particular that is kind of coordinates all of the parent groups in particular, and that's our Magnificent Seven president, Miss Taruni Evans. So Miss Evans.
Hi everyone, welcome. I am Taruni Evans. I'm Mag 7 president. I just want to say hello, and we're so excited to have you guys, and good luck.
Thank you, Miss Evans. And now going in alphabetical order with the parent groups, I want to introduce our Brahma boosters.
Hi everyone, I'm Catalina representing Booster. Welcome everyone to this parent night, and welcome everyone to Diamond Bar High. And looking forward to see everyone and to welcome all you guys. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Kwan. Next up is our Brahma Foundation. It's my pleasure to introduce our president, Annalisa Gore.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. My name is Annalisa Gore, and I am the Brahma Foundation president. I just want to welcome all of you 2025 class to Diamond Bar High School. Have a great year.
Fantastic. Thank you, Ms. Gore. Now, the next group actually was one of the first parent groups that was founded at Diamond Bar High School, and that's our Council of African American Parents. And it's over 20 years, over 25 years of being at Diamond Bar. So our president, Ms. Nikki Mitchell.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the parents in the class of 2025 As Dr. Jones has said, my name is Nikki Mitchell, and I'm proud to represent the Council of African American Parents, also known as CAP, C-A-A-P, which is actually in its 29th year. And we welcome you to visit the DBHS website to learn more about the organization and how you can get involved. Welcome and enjoy the night.
Thank you, Mrs. Mitchell. And now it's my honor to introduce our Chinese American Parent Association President, Ms. Cindy Huang.
Hi, my name is Cindy Huang from Kappa. Thank you for joining us for the 8th grade parent night. We are now open for our new parent membership enrollment. Please contact us and join our Kappa family. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Huang. Okay, next up, it's my pleasure to introduce our Hope president. And I think there actually is our vice president as well that's here too. So Christina Bravo, could you go ahead and do the honors?
Hi, everyone. My name is Christina Bravo. I represent Hope, the Hispanic parent group on campus. I look forward to seeing you at our meetings. If you have an interest in the issues that impact our Hispanic students and parents, welcome to Diamond Bar High School.
Wonderful. Thank you, Ms. Bravo. Okay, next up, we have our Korean American Parent Association, and that's Ms. Jinha Kim. Ms. Kim isn't able to be with us tonight. She is a Los Angeles police officer, protecting us as we speak, no doubt. So when you have a chance to introduce Ms. Kim, I for sure will do that. And our last parent group is our South Asian Parent Association, again by alphabet, definitely not the least. So it's an honor to introduce Ms. Shah.
Hi guys, my name is Parul Shah. I'm the president for South Asian Parent Association. Welcome class of 2025. We're looking forward to meeting lots of new parents this coming school year.
Wonderful. Thank you, Ms. Shah. So 8th grade parents and students, that is our Magnificent Seven, and our culture at our school is a credit to volunteerism. So I really encourage you to reach out to our presidents to connect and to do all you can to reach out to them. On our website, they have all their contact information, and we also will be sending that to you in addition to having this video recording for you. So again, please give a round of applause for all of our Magnificent Seven parents. Thank you, Mrs. Cheng.
So tonight, without further ado, I will introduce Mr. Patterson and Mrs. Duenas.
Hello, everybody. It's nice to have you here tonight. I'm Mrs. Duenas. Your kids have already at least seen me once. Mr. Patterson.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Mr. Patterson, and we did meet your students. At least they saw our faces through the old box of the computer. So we introduced everything that we are going to speak about this evening. We introduced this same material to them the past couple school days as well to the kids. So hopefully they've talked to you about a little bit. We're going to get going. We're pretty easygoing people. We really want this to be educational for you. We want to make sure that everybody just takes a big, deep breath and exhales. The process of choosing courses it's kind of an intense thing because you want to do well by your child. You want to give them good advice, but it's a simple process that we want to make very, very simple for you. So we want to put your minds at ease, and we're going to get rolling with that process.
All right, so we have been going into the middle schools virtually, and we're talking about how to register for 9th grade classes. If you can believe it, your kids are going to be in high school in no time. So in order to get the right classes going, we have assigned 2 very important steps to your children. So hopefully they're sitting down next to you tonight and listening to this for the second time, because I will say it's a lot of information. I'm sorry. But it's all really important information. And hopefully by the end of it, it will feel like you've got this, okay? Like you'll be able to get this all done. So again, 2 steps. One of those steps happens in the Google Classroom. So if you are not aware, we currently have a class of 2025 Google Classroom. We're not using it to do daily communication with the kids. We're really using it for registration purposes right now. And as the year starts to wrap up and as we get closer to the start of freshman year, we may use it for other announcements and things like that. But step 1 is in the Google Classroom, and then step 2 is going to be in the Aries portal. So for your students inside their student Aries portal, that's going to be step 2. So let's look at those things. So within the Google Classroom, your students have been assigned 2 things. One, there is a registration packet that is several pages long. Again, I'm sorry, but it's so incredibly detailed. Okay, so that assignment is read-only info. You don't have to do anything on the packet other than read it, take notes on it, understand it, because I promise you, if you go through all of the documents provided in there, you should know everything there is to know about this registration process. So we've gone through that and made them very, very thorough documents for you to reference. And then the second assignment that's put into the Google Classroom is the registration card. So there's like a pink PDF card, because we typically on campus have them as cards, that your student has to fill out. And so we're going to go through this presentation and talk about what you put on the card. And essentially, the card is where your kids are telling us which classes they're going to take in freshman year. So that's kind of the backup card. We need that in case all technology were to shut down and we need to reference something. We have that card telling us what your kids have selected. That is due March 8th. So the card, and then step 2 that I'm talking about, Aries portal, that stuff is due March 8th. That's Monday. Okay, so you have all of this time to go in, talk about classes, circle the ones you want, upload them into your Aries portal, edit, all of that, all the way through March 8th. Mr. Patterson and I are then going into the middle schools on the 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. So this has to get done by then. The portal will actually shut down. Like, they're not shut down, it'll shut you out. You won't have access to do anything else with your Aries portal at that point. So please write it down, March 8th. That's when we need all this stuff to get done.
All right, so as we start going through, what we're going to do tonight is we're going to actually go through the different documents that your students have already looked at through the Google Classroom. And I'm going to touch base on them very quickly, and then we're going to come back, and Mrs. Duenas is going to actually look at each of the documents with you in a few moments and actually show you where the kids are going to locate these items on the Google Classroom. So the registration packet, as Mrs. Duenas mentioned, has several documents in it. So if we go to the next page there, there you go. This is just a little bit of a snapshot of what those documents are. We're going to show you them in the real size here in just a few minutes. But in these documents here is just a wealth of information. And if you know me, if you've been at Diamond Bar, and I might have had another one of your children or whatnot, and anybody that knows me, I coached basketball for many years. And when I coached, I ran very simple offense and defense because I'm a low IQ coach. I ran very simple, low IQ drills. It's carried over to my job here at Diamond Bar, where we do very low IQ forms, very simple forms, because we want you to understand them. And we're not trying to trick our students or you. The green document that you see is going to be a enumerated step-by-step process of how the students are to fill out the card, and it gives them background on each of the different categories of classes that they're going to select. The pink document is actually our course numbers, and we'll touch on that in a moment. We have a document that gives you all kinds of information, the cream color document there, about all the elective courses that are available. And then the Sign Up Genius is the vehicle that you're going to use, your students will, to actually select the appointment date and time. One of the wonderful things that we do at Diamond Bar in Walnut Valley is that you get to sit down with us, and we get to sit down with you and your child every summer for a 20 to 30-minute meeting, and we get to review the prior year. We get to look at the schedule for the upcoming year. We get to talk about the Cal State UC requirements, your son or daughter's goals. It's a wonderful opportunity for us to get to know you. So we're going to hit on that during the summertime. Some important dates just coming up. Ms. Duenas mentioned already the March 8th date, 6 p.m. is when your students are going to have as a deadline to submit their document through the Google Classroom. And then we return to the middle schools next week. The kids know the dates. March 9th and 10th, we're going to actually be at South Point again. And that's going to be a very brief, but a nice one-on-one meeting through the old computer box here, where we're going to introduce ourselves, your son or daughter, and they're going to actually review the card with us very momentarily, and we're going to make sure everything is done right. So please don't panic. If there is a mistake or something that's not done right on the card, we have checks and balances in place. We're going to work with your child and look at the card with them, and any errors that are on there, we'll be able to correct. So no panic there. And then March 11th and 12th, we're going to be over at Chaparral Middle School.
Okay, I'm going to take a pause from showing those things, and I'm going to show you guys our Google Classroom. So bear with me for just a second. Okay, so just a sneak peek. Woohoo! Class of 2025, you exist. You're on the board. This is our Google Classroom. Most of your students have already accepted the invite to this. Parents, if you want to see the documents, I've received a few emails asking for requests to access these documents. You got to go through your kids' account. You got to go through the student account to get access to these documents. So please work collaboratively with your students to get to the Google Classroom and look at their potential classes. So up here, this is the main bulk of what we want to talk about, the classwork. There's a few things listed here. So what I talked about first, the 2 assignments, these 2 that have the clipboard, this is your registration card. Okay, so fill out the card using Cami. So please fill it out electronically. And then you've got to submit it through the Google Classroom. So if you look here, I'll bring this up again later in the presentation once we've talked about all these things, but we are going to talk about all of these course choices and what's an appropriate course selection for your 9th grade student. So that's the registration card. You're going to open it with Cami and you are going to submit it to the Google Classroom by March 8th at 6 p.m. at the latest. And then the registration information that I talked about, that is here. It's this 9th grade packet. Like I said, it's lots of pages, but it's so thorough. And we do it this way because we really hope you'll read it and you won't be so confused. You won't be emailing us 1,000 times. All the things that you should know about filling out the packet are here. So green sheet, like I said, we go through all of the different courses there. They're numbered just like they are on the pink card. Some more information about electives on the back. We have the electives offered at Diamond Bar High School. We have our course numbers. So the pink card that I showed you, typically you're just going to circle a course like English, math, PE. Those course numbers are provided for you. But for electives, if your child is selecting an elective, like for example, foreign language, they're going to need to select the foreign language course number and put that on the card as well. So that's why we provide the course numbers for you for the purpose of elective courses. Mr. Patterson already touched on the GLC Sign Up Genius, and we'll talk a little bit more about that too. I'm going to shout out Randy Thomas here, this email address. He is our technology coordinator at Diamond Bar High School and most, I don't know, amazing technology guru out there. He's fantastic. So your students should have already received an email from Sign Up Genius to their student Gmail accounts. If they have not received those emails from Sign Up Genius, they've got to reach out to Mr. Thomas. That email address is there and it's in the packet for your reference, but he is technology guru, multiple hat wearer. He's wonderful. Just general information that you don't need to stress about right now, but it's in there. Grad requirements, UC, Cal State requirements. Please trust that Mr. Patterson and I, this is a huge part of our job. So we are monitoring this stuff. We are checking in with your child these 4 years to make sure that they are not missing an opportunity or their potential to graduate or attend whatever college, university they plan beyond high school. So that's just for your reference, but don't sweat it too much. Math pathways. We're going to talk a little bit about this later. You don't get to pick a math class. It kind of follows a sequence, but for your reference, it's in our packet. And then summer school can be a little bit confusing for our school. I'm sure like other schools too. It's funded from a bunch of different places. And so this entity offers these classes, another offers another. So we've kind of taken the opportunity to break down summer school for you as best we can. We really feel that this is a pretty thorough document. So if you have questions about summer school, your answers might be here in this document. So that in its entirety, I warned you, I wasn't lying. There's a lot of pages in here, but again, all very important. So that is the registration packet that we would like you to view and turn in just to say that you've viewed it. And then this is the part that I'm actually most proud of in the Google Classroom. We have these wonderful how-to guides. I feel proud because I made them. We have these PDFs here. So how to fill out your card using Cami. I think most of your kids are very proficient in Cami, but if for some reason they're not just yet, This is kind of a step-by-step guide on how to get the card filled out. And then it gives you an example of a completed card there. So that is a nice little how-to guide. We're going to get into the Aries portal piece that I talked about, but this is also a step-by-step guide on how to do the Aries portal and uploading your classes into your academic plan. And in case there were questions, I put together a little short video. I think it's like 7 minutes long, of how to go ahead and do that. If I play it right now, you won't hear it because I've got my headphone in, but it's a quick video, and I outline how to upload all of your classes in there, so you shouldn't have any questions regarding that. So, oh, and there's also the course description book. This is our Diamond Bar High School course description book. This is a huge resource to you. It lists all of our classes. If I click on art, it takes me straight to the art page, and it will tell me what grade levels are able to take this course, how many credits is it worth, is it a year-long class or a semester-long course? It tells me the description of the course, if there's any prerequisites required for that course, and then, you know, if it's been, what box it checks off for graduation, and if it's approved for UCs, Cal States, and so on and so forth. So this document should absolutely be open while you're looking at the classes that your student is planning to take in freshman year. Okay.
Hey, Steph.
Yes.
So just feedback as you kind of navigate going back, but just a couple other comments. One on the course description booklet. Please utilize that document. It is just a wealth of information. It will answer most of your questions that you have. And then I want to put your minds at ease, Mom and Dad, regarding the UC, Cal State, Mrs. on this card, so that we have a cross-reference. We will get to know your son or daughter's nickname or other name on, you know, at a different time. For the card, keep with the academic transcript card. Your student's ID number is the same 6-digit number that you've been using since your child entered Walnut Valley Unified School District. Home phone number, student cell phone number. We ask for that because there are times where we might be looking at this card in June when we're working on classes, just double checking everything, and we might need to reach out to your son or daughter. So that's why we ask for their cell phone number. It's a lot easier to have a quick reference. And then circle your GLC, whoever you're assigned to, by last name. I have the A through LIO. Mrs. Duenas works with the LIP through Z, last name of the alphabet. You will sign, parent will sign, student will sign, and that's all done through the text signature document through CAMI. And then right below that is an area that I want to bring to your attention. It's a summer school course enrolled in. It's really important, and we stress this to your students. If your student gets into a summer school class, they've registered, and then they're going to check this weekend, because all classes, all rosters will be posted on the summer school webpage by this weekend. They need to check before they submit the card on Monday. I registered for summer school. They need to go onto the website and confirm that they're enrolled in the summer school class. Just because they registered doesn't mean they're enrolled yet. So they need to look to see that their name is on a roster. So let's just say that they registered for world history, for example, and they got into world history. They're going to write down in the summer school course enrolled in, they're going to write down modern world history, so that we know that they did get into summer school. And then later on the card, when they come to the modern world history section, they get to choose an alternate class because they're going to get that done in the summer. They don't put modern world history down again, they choose another elective. All right, on the card, and then I'm going to bring in Mr. Aguilar here in a moment, but there's basically 3 courses that your students get to select from. And again, I will come back to the entire card again to give you a visual of what we're speaking about here. The majority of the kids are going to pick Kinesiology 1. So that's their physical education course for 9th grade. So Kinesiology 1 is regular physical education. So that is one of their options, one of the 3. The second option that students can pursue, and trust me, as a parent of musician, if your students are musically inclined and they want to continue with their music, please let them continue with their music. It is going to add so much to their life. Don't think it's going to take too much time from their studies. It will enhance their studies. Trust me, Trust me on that. If they are a musician and they want to participate in our marching band, the great part about that, that's their PE course. If they do marching band all 4 years, that's their 4 semesters of PE that's required to graduate. So our musicians, marching band members, they will circle both marching band and concert band. Marching band will be a 7th class. It'll be basically after school when they do their practice. And then the concert band is the actual classroom setting where they're learning their music. So they do both of those classes. The third category will be athletics. Now, we put football and athletic conditioning football down simply because that's the first sport of the year, and that's the sport that we know. If a student athlete wants to play football, they're going to be on the football team as long as they follow all the protocol, get their physical. They're going to make that team and the program. So if you have a student athlete in the house, they want to play football, they're going to circle athletic football and athletic conditioning as their PE class. All right. Now, many of you, I hope, are thinking right now, but my daughter plays volleyball, or my son plays tennis or baseball. Awesome. We want them to. They will play that. They need to pursue it. But for the purpose of registering for classes, they are not going to indicate or circle any class that indicates baseball right now, for example. What they're going to do, and I'll show you this category when we come to it a little bit later, they're going to just simply indicate on the card in the PE section that they're going to try out for volleyball, or they're going to audition for dance team or color guard. Those are all courses that will actually count for PE credit. Mr. Aguilar, can you fill in any gaps I might have missed?
Very thorough job. I think you have the general gist for your freshman year there. The one thing that I would add is that there is a state requirement for students to be enrolled in PE during their freshman year and their sophomore year. So that's why it's very important that you understand that this is a state requirement that all students are getting physical activity, and that is done through our physical education course. And there's also a state mandated assessment, so that students will be taking their physical fitness testing component in the second semester of the school year. So that's going to be important for you to know. And then, of course, information about auditions, tryouts for all of our sports programs. That information is going to be posted on our dbhs.org website. We have an athletics page. You can click on athletics as it's posted on the tab, and it'll take you to a page that celebrates all the wonderful athletic programs that we have offered. And then that's where you're going to go for general information about each program. I saw in the question and answer session, we're getting questions from people asking about, is there going to be summer camps, summer programs, things of that nature. That part of the website is where you're going to want to check for those updates. We will as well be pushing that information out via emails. So check your emails. That was also something I wanted to say for the summer school registrations and whatnot. When you apply, we use the emails that you give us, and we push our information about completing summer school registration via email. And so that's another thing for folks to be very aware of. Make sure that your students are checking their email. They're not as advanced in doing that as the adults are. So if you want information, please make sure that you're encouraging your child as well to check their emails.
So just to give you a quick example, if you have your son or daughter is a volleyball player or basketball player, any of the other athletic sports, these are sports teams where they're going to try out and they're going to compete against other high schools, all right? So if that is the case and they're not a football player, they're going to use a section that I'll point out later on in the program, will try out. And what will happen, we want you, the son or daughter, to circle kinesiology for the time being. They're going to circle kinesiology for now, and just trust us, as soon as they audition, as soon as they try out and whatnot, next fall possibly, we will make the adjustment in their academic schedule to get them into that athletic team, to get them on the dance team, the color guard, and so on, after auditions and tryouts take place. We move on to the second category, and that's English. And I'm going to ask Mrs. Galindo in a moment to come in. Basically, your son or daughter has two options basically to choose from. They get to choose English 1, which is college prep, Cal State, UC approved, private universities will all accept. And then they have English 1 honors. We put prerequisites down there in big box there. Please make sure your sons and daughters read the course description booklet we referenced earlier and make sure they're meeting the prerequisites for these courses. Now, a lot of your kids might think that they're going to sneak one by, oh, Mr. Patterson, you know, he's pretty old, that gray hair, he is not going to notice. Don't let them try to sneak a class by and sign up for English 1 honors, for example, if they're not meeting the prerequisite. Because I'm going to be very honest with you. What they're going to do is they will sneak it by me in the registration process. I will say, awesome, good job. The computer will make their schedule. And guess when old Mr. Patterson's going to find the problem? When we sit down in July and I'm going to say, hey, Johnny, you don't qualify for English 1 honors. I'm going to have to just take his schedule apart and rebuild it. And he's going to lose any elective that he might have gotten. So please make sure they honor the prerequisites. They're there for a reason, to protect the preparation and so on and so forth. So basically English 1 or English 1 honors. And then for our ELD students, our second language students, if you're an ELD 1 student, you are actually going to sign up and select 2 courses of ELD 1. You're going to take 2 individual periods of ELD 1. So you'll circle ELD 1 on the card, and then in the elective section, you're going to put ELD 1 a second time for a second course. We want to get you up to snuff with your English writing and listening and speaking skills. If you're an ELD 2 or 3 level student, you are going to have as a complement to your ELD 2 or 3 class, English 1. You are also going to take 2 English classes. You would circle ELD 3, and then on the elective section, you'll circle or write in English 1 also. Mrs. Galindo is our instructional dean over that area. Fill in any gaps, Mrs. Galindo.
Thank you, Mr. Patterson. I just think it's important to mention that many students think that they have to be in pre-IB in order to be in English 1 honors, and that is not the case. They just need to meet the prerequisites of English 1 honors, which is an A in their honors class, an A in their English class at this time, or a B in an honors class at this time. So again, make sure to read the course description and know that it is an honors class. And so there will be reading, there will be a lot of writing. It's heavy on reading comprehension. And so that's something to take into consideration in regards to the academic classes.
Thank you. All right, so we move on to.
Sorry, is there going to be summer work for English honors this year? Do we know yet?
We don't know at this time. Last year, based on our virtual learning platform, the English teachers did not have summer reading. Usually English 1 honors does not have summer reading. Those are usually for the AP courses on the 11th and the 12th grade. Often for English 2 honors as well, but we should have that information shortly. Students will be informed about that by the time registration comes.
All right, so the 3rd and 4th areas that you're going to fill out on your course selections. The 3rd area is mathematics, and it's pretty simple process. They're just going to follow the mathematics sequence. So I'm going to talk about the next 3 or 4 areas, and then I'll bring in Ms. Burns and Mr. Aguilar again to fill in any gaps. Mathematics is pretty straightforward. We would start with Intro to Algebra, Algebra 1, Geometry, Algebra 2, or Algebra 2 Trig Honors. So if your son or daughter is in Algebra 8 or the equivalent of Algebra 1 right now, then they would sequence on to Geometry, and that's what they would circle on their card. If they're in Geometry now and they're meeting the prerequisite grades and they're doing well, they get to select Algebra 2 and or Algebra 2 Trig Honors, all right? Now, a word of caution, and this is just me being dad, I guess. If your son or daughter sleeps and they dream about mathematics equations and they love math and they're getting A's across the board in geometry and they find it very easy for them, then they might consider that Algebra 2 Trig Honors course. That's who that course is made for. It's got 2 mathematics names in the title for a reason. It's basically Algebra 2 and Trig almost 2 full years of mathematics in 1 year. It's fast. It's a fast-paced course. That's why if your son or daughter's in geometry now getting B's, we don't suggest that they do this, Algebra 2 Trig Honors. They are better suited to do Algebra 2. Trust me, back in my day, Algebra 2, that was for the most intelligent fellow in school. It wasn't me, but man, they were taking that as a senior. You guys, our kids are so smart, they're taking Algebra 2, some of them in their 9th grade year. If a student took Algebra 2 as a 9th grader, they are still going to be in Calculus 2 AP as a senior. That's 6 years of high school math because they get credit for Algebra 1 and geometry for college admissions. That is very, very impressive. No need to be rushing through things. Please make sure your son or daughter makes a good choice with the honors, Algebra 2 Trig Honors, if that's the route they go. So you'll circle whatever class is next. Students are going to be taking a math placement test at the middle school, and their grades in their current math classes are going to be the 2 ways that they're placed. They don't pick a class. We basically place them. You're going to circle the right one based on the placement test and their sequence of what they're in now. The 4th area is our health and computer requirement. For our students to graduate, they need to take a semester, 1 semester of health and 1 semester of a computer required course or computer component course. Most of our students will select health and career explorations. It's 1 semester of each, and that will satisfy the requirement. So first semester, they might have health. Second semester, the same period, they will have the computer class, which is our career explorations class. So that is one option for them to choose in this category. The second option is going to be computer systems. Computer systems is reserved for students that have registered for, applied, and been accepted to the Brahma Technology Academy. Students in the Brahma Tech Academy are required to take computer systems. It's 1 year long. It's different than career explorations. It's 1 year long. So that leaves the health class kind of dangling out there. Students might take it this summer to get it out of the way, or they'll take it summer between 9th and 10th grade, or they fit it in to their senior year, junior year. They'll get it done. We will remind them. But Brahma Tech students will take the computer systems course. Now, this category might be reserved if your son or daughter is taking these courses during the summer. They open up 1 more elective spot that they get to fill with one of the approved electives. Okay, so let's go to the next 2, and then I'll bring in Ms. Burns and Mr. Aguilar again. The final 2 classes that your son or daughter will select, we call them electives, but start training your mind now. In my brain, when I was in school, electives were like the performing arts, the applied arts. Electives can be very academic in nature. They're academic electives also. They're elective to taking certain classes. So you basically, they have 2 classes they get to choose that we call electives. The categories they're choosing from, 1 is foreign language. Kids can take Spanish, Korean, Chinese, or French. They'll be able to take either one of those classes. Please keep this in mind. A student can graduate from Diamond Bar High School without foreign language. It's not a graduation requirement. It's foreign language, 10 credits, or 10 credits of fine arts. The reason our kids take foreign language is for the university application. Minimum of 2 years required. Many schools recommend 3. So that's why our students that are college bound are taking foreign language. So that is one of your elective choices. Does a student have to take it? No. If they're struggling with English and taking on another language might not be wise for 9th grade, that's okay. They can defer that first year of foreign language to 10th grade. That's not a problem. They would still have 3 years of foreign language if they did that. That's up to you and your individual student. The other category that they can choose from is, for an elective, is modern world history. Now, Mrs. Duenas and I are emphasizing, and Mr. Aguilar will touch on this a little bit, we want the majority of our students to select modern world history, to get it out of the way. Students can take modern world history as a 9th or 10th grader, but we prefer the majority of our students to take modern world history next year in 9th grade, because 10th grade will get very, very crowded if we don't get it out of the way. So that's a second option for one of the two electives. The third option is science. Now, at Diamond Bar High School, not all 9th graders are going to take science. All right, it's just not, there's no room for that to accommodate every 9th grader for science. So this is how we've broken it down. If your son or daughter is in Algebra 2 next year as a freshman, then they are able to pre-register for biology or biology honors, depending on the prerequisites being met. If your son or daughter is not in Algebra 2, then they're not qualified yet to take science as a 9th grader. Okay, so geometry students next year, they won't be selecting a science per se for 9th grade year. All right, so that's where we are with the science. And then there are other electives that are out there that are on your elective sheet. Art, the performing arts, the applied arts that students may select from as well. Now on your card, and I'll mention this when we double back to the card itself, your students are going to select 2 alternate selections for every elective. So if they're picking Spanish 1, they need to select 2 alternatives because they're not guaranteed that they can get into Spanish 1. So they need to supply us with 2 alternatives so that we know what they would like. You don't want Mr. Patterson or Mrs. Duenas selecting the elective. They need to put the alternates down for each of those electives. Now, I'd like to bring it back to Mr. Aguilar first, and then Ms. Burns. They'll fill in any gaps. Well, let me talk about science a little bit. I apologize. I got ahead of myself. IB prep students. So if you're sitting at home right now and you have done the IB prep application, IB prep students, you must take a science, all right? You must take a science, regardless of your math level. You're going to take biology or bio honors. You have a choice there. But IB prep, submitted the application already and have been accepted, you will be taking biology or bio honors next year as a 9th grader. That's important to know. Ms. Koo is our our IB director. Her email's on the screen there. You can email her if you have any direct questions for her regarding the elective for science. Next slide there, Ms. Duenas. Is that the last one for me on this?
Yep, I think this is for you to bring in
Okay.
Mr. Aguilar.
So let me bring in Mr. Aguilar first. He can fill in any gaps on the health part, and then Ms. Burns will come in after that.
So again, as Mr. Patterson pointed out with that health requirement, health 1 semester being paired with the career explorations, I think one thing to add is that career explorations is our updated course to fulfill the technology requirement. Some students might see literature where it says ICT. ICT was information communication technology. We've updated that course to make sure that our students are exploring careers. So that's why it's called career exploration. So that's the new course title. It's if you have past students that have taken the health ICT combo, as we used to call it, now it's just the updated course title. So it's the same thing. But again, if you are a Brahma Tech student, you're looking to take the computer systems course for the 1 year, that will take care of the technology requirement. A Brahma Tech student is looking to immerse themselves in technology. So they take the entire year with computer systems as their foundation. They don't have to take career explorations because they're already pursuing technology classes as a means of really getting their hands dirty in terms of a career pathway potential. So that's an important. I would also add that I know that there's people that are typing Q&A like, hey, I didn't submit my application for Brahma Tech. The Brahma Tech application closed over a week and a half ago. That doesn't mean that we're going to exclude you. The application is still available. If you go online to the dbhs.org website, we have a tab that says academics. When you click on the academics tab, that takes you to a page that shows you the Brahma Tech program link, the IB program link, and all the other types of academies that we have. So you can find the application in that location. You complete it. We're still processing those applications. Please make sure that you fill it out properly, correctly, that you attach a transcript. We do ask for a copy of the student's transcript. to get an idea of their grades. Are they, what levels of academics are they holding? Because we do have academic requirements for that Brahma Tech program. But please make sure that you get that done in a very, very timely manner. Our Brahma Tech coordinator, Miss Alina Gallardo, she will process that. It will take time. Again, those were due to like 2 weeks ago. So she already spent a lot of time processing about 100 applications, and she's getting those students geared up. If you want to register for computer systems for summer and you want to know if you're in Brahma Tech, you can go ahead and say, yeah, let me register for the class. Let me see if I can get a class. At a later time, if you discover that you don't qualify for Brahma Tech or you change your mind, you can cancel the summer enrollment and get the refund issued and all of that good stuff. So again, I think the message that I want to send is please don't feel stressed, anxious. Oh no. You're gonna be okay. We don't look to exclude people from programs. If your student wants to be involved in the program, we want to find a way to get your student connected with that program. That's what we're passionate about. So please know that you're just going to need to work with us a little bit because we have time schedules that we're trying to comply with. And if you miss one of those dates or deadlines, now we got to kind of go back and make sure that we can help you out. And that might take a little more time. So that's what I would share. I would also share that in addition to the computer systems, if you're a Brahma Tech student and you know that you want to pursue our Project Lead the Way Engineering Academy, we do offer Project Lead the Way. It's a 4-year engineering sequence. If you know you're interested in robotics and computer science from the engineering lens, we do have a 4-year sequence, which means Brahma Tech kids will sometimes take the Introduction to Design course and they'll hold off on taking computer systems. And so that's a choice that's there too for you. If you know you're interested in engineering, you want to pursue it, again, you can reach out to Ms. Gallardo for some guidance on that as well. We want to get you in the right sequence with the right courses. So Ms. Burns, do you have stuff that you want to share on the math before we move forward?
Perfect. Thank you very much, Mr. Aguilar. For math, I just want to remind you guys again what Mr. Patterson was saying. Your math placement is based off of your current math class and grade that you receive. You will be taking that placement test in your 8th grade math class if you have not already. If you're still confused about where you think you should be registering, talk to your math teacher. If you haven't taken that placement test, they can probably guide you in the best possible class right now, but definitely look at those prerequisites. Also, I wanted to remind you, look in that registration packet at those math pathways and look to see where you want to be in 4 years. If you're in Algebra 1, registering for Algebra 1, that does not mean you can't get to calculus your senior year. You can take geometry next summer. Okay, so there are options to get you into an AP math class as a senior. So don't rush, make sure you're registering for the correct class. Also with the sciences, remember that science is an elective and you have to be in the Algebra 2 or higher for the biology or biology honors. For IB prep students, they received their applications as of February 26th. They were able to email everyone that they received an application from February 26th or before. You should have received that email by March 1st. They are still working on all applications that are being turned in late, and they will get in touch with you guys by email for IB. And that is it. I'd like to introduce Miss Julie Galindo.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for listening to all the information. I'm going to talk to you about world languages. You do not need to take a placement test for a world language if you decide to enroll as a world language for one of your electives as a freshman. So for example, you can enroll in Chinese 1 or French 1 or Korean 1 or Spanish 1. Also adhering to some of the information that Mr. Patterson talked about earlier, providing several different electives. All students will register for the first level regardless if you have or will be taking the placement exam. So placement test results will be shared with the GLCs for registration. So please make sure for the DLI students who are taking the Chinese placement test exam next next week, or if you're taking the Korean placement test next week, put on your registration card Chinese 1 or Korean 1. Your GLCs will go back through and fix that to indicate if you're going to be in Chinese 2 honors or whichever level that you're going to begin at, okay? I think the next slide deals with the placement exams itself. Yes. So this information should not be new to you. This has been shared with the middle schools. It was also included in our orientation evening. This information has been updated on the Chinese teachers and the Korean teachers websites. So just as a reminder, for those of you who are taking the Chinese placement exam, that is going to take place via Google Classroom on Tuesday, March 9. Korean placement exam also Tuesday, March 9 via Google Classroom. It will take place after school from 2:30 to 3:15 p.m. The first part is going to be the written and the reading and written part. And then the second part is going to be the oral assessment, and that will begin at 3:15 via Zoom or the Google Meets link. So go to their Google Classroom, the invite, and you'll have more information that way. So we just ask that students don't stress about it. Just do the best that you can on the placement exam. And in the meantime, because registration cards are going to be due to the GLC prior to getting the placement, you will input on your registration card like Chinese 1 or Korean 1, same with Spanish 1 and or French 1. Performing arts classes and auditions. This is also my slide. So let's talk about the performing arts student options. We have a prolific performing arts program at Diamond Bar High School. There's so many awesome things for your student to be involved in. And I just want to reemphasize what Mr. Patterson said earlier. Please encourage your student to be involved in something that he or she really loves, because if it's a performing art or if it's robotics or computer, that means that that's a good outlet for them. It's good social emotional learning. There's so much feeling of belonging in these groups where the students really get connected with school, and that's really important. So for choir, if your student does not want to audition, let's say that he or she is like, I really want to be in a performing art, but I just have stage fright and I don't want to audition. That's okay. Your student does not have to audition. You can sign up for concert choir. That's going to be a Diamond Tones, or you can decide to audition for a higher level choir. And you can go to the dbhschoir.com for more information to see their website. For dance, you can audition for dance company. Okay, so you can see dbhsdancecompany.weebly.com. You can also be in drama. Even if you have no acting experience, you've never done drama before, and you think, oh, I think that will be kind of a fun thing to do. You can sign up for a beginning drama, or you can decide to audition for a higher level course. You can go to dbhstheater.com. And for music, our music program is an amazing program. Some of you probably already know about it. You're looking very much forward to performing in our brand new multi-million-dollar instrumental music center, which is going to be opening soon. It's so exciting, the things that are going to be happening on our campus. So if you do not want to audition for a music program, you would sign up for a concert band or symphonic band, or you can decide to audition. And you can find more information on brahmamusic.org. Something that's really important about this, because a lot of students and parents think like, oh, I can't be in music and then also be in all these academic programs at the same time. So Mr. Acciani has created a link on the brahmamusic.org page, and you can go there and see all the different options of schedules. That is GLC approved. So I made sure that I covered it with Mr. Patterson and Ms. Dueñas, so we are in sync with the information. So you can go there and you can double check like, okay, if I take this class, can I take also all these other classes? So that should probably help you out as far as your schedule is concerned. Mr. Patterson or Ms. Dueñas, did I miss anything as far as our world languages or performing arts classes and auditions? I'm so excited for this new class to come in. I think it's going to be a great year, and we just really encourage your participation in these classes.
You know, the one thing I'll add just to support what Mrs. Galindo said and what I mentioned earlier, Mrs. Duenas and I just got done helping students through the college admissions process. And the essays that our students write, that they're writing to get into college, 99% of them reference their involvement in music, in robotics, in athletics. It just gives them a sense. The leadership class, our USB, they have that as an outlet. It makes them happy. I'm an old guy. Happy students are good students. So you want your students to be happy. They will perform academically as well. Now, this goes over to Ms. Van Horn, our activities director.
Absolutely. So coming off of what Mr. Patterson was just saying, student involvement and activities are such an important part of the high school experience. I know that this presentation has largely focused on the classes that your students will be taking, but I just want to ensure you or let you know that we have so many opportunities for them to explore their different interests. We have over 80 clubs for students to join. We have competitive based clubs like our robotics, our Team Sprocket, or esports. We have community service clubs that focus on giving back to our community, like Key Club or CSF. And then we also just have interest clubs where students can join together and share things that they enjoy, like our baking club or a fashion club. We will have club promotion at the start of the year. So your students don't have to decide they want to join a club right away. They have a little bit of time to explore, get settled into their freshman year, and we will promote those different clubs so that they can look into joining. And then wanted to bring up the point that your students can also apply to start new clubs. So if it's a unique and a different club that we don't already have on campus, we encourage our students to seek out those leadership opportunities and create those leadership opportunities. As freshmen, they have the opportunity to join United Student Body. That's our student government for second semester. So at Diamond Bar High School, we don't go with our leadership for the school year, we go for the calendar year. So if students are interested in student government, they'll be looking for applications in October, and their schedule would be adjusted for second semester so that they could be in USB. And then our USB kids are the ones that plan all the activities for the student body. And then last couple points I just wanted to mention, we will see you during summer for registration. You'll have the opportunity to purchase an activity card at this time. We are looking so forward to having your students on campus and creating great activities and having a lot of fun with them. The activity card is a $45 donation to the school, and that donation goes directly back to our students who are in athletics, who are in music, to support the clubs, to create pep rallies and lunchtime activities. So I encourage you, get that activity card because your students are gonna have discounts on yearbooks, discounts on PE clothes, discounts to school dances, free food. That's always fun. So get that activity card and then just take advantage of all the great opportunities that Diamond Bar has to offer. Encourage your students to go support a game, support their friends in the dance concerts, and just experience everything that we have to offer. There's a reason that there's 5 people on this panel that went to Diamond Bar High School. We all came back to Diamond Bar because we attribute it so much of our success to this place. So welcome to Diamond Bar. We're looking forward to having you here as Brahmas. And now I will hand it over to another Brahma, Albert Lim, our athletics director.
Great evening. Definitely excited to welcome your child to Diamond Bar High School. And there is a lot of information with athletics in terms of the athletic clearance process. But if you guys click on the link for the open house, there will be more detailed information about that process, as well as a Google form, an interest form. So if you have a child that is interested in athletics, especially to start during the summer camps, please go ahead and fill that out so that we can relay information as we get updated dates on those. As you can imagine, this year is very unusual because of the COVID, and the calendar is a bit off right now just because of it. So other than that, if you guys have any questions, please feel free to contact me and I will do my best to answer your question.
All right, very good. Parents, we threw a lot at you and we're not quite done. We're almost done, I promise. So let's take a 2-second break to just take a deep breath, inhale it all in and then let it all out, because we're going to get through this. And so we're nearing the end and we threw a lot of information at you, but I'm hoping that it's been really, really good information, that you are now feeling a lot more clear about how this experience is going to unfold. So without further ado, let's get into assignment number 2. So we talked all about assignment number 1 through the Google Classroom, the registration card, the classes, how you're picking those classes. Now we're moving on to how to input those courses into your Aries portal. So in Aries portal, in the students' Aries portal, they have access to something called the academic plan. It's a really neat tool that we hope to utilize over 4 years, where kids can go in and kind of make a 4-year plan for the classes that they hope to take in high school. But we're not doing that right now. Right now, all we need your kids to do is to go in and input classes for 9th grade. So your kids are going to sign into their Aries portal. They're going to open up academic plan, which is found under classes. Oh, let me back up. Right now, because your kids are kind of on the cusp, they're currently 8th graders, but they're rolling over their information into the high schools. They're going to have 2 tabs on Aries. So there is a tab where there's still, your kid's name plus their middle school. And then there's a tab where they're listed under Diamond Bar High School. They've got to be under the Diamond Bar High School tab in order to see the academic plan. They won't have access to it otherwise. So if you don't see it, make sure that you're under the right tab. So it can be found under classes. You're going to reference your registration card and you're going to add all of your classes for your 9th grade year. Like I said, I had that really nice PDF on our Google Classroom. I've also done, like I said, a 7-minute video that's boom, 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 shows you how easy this process is. But just to give you a preview of what you're looking at, this is what the academic plan looks like in your Aries portal. Like I said, it's under classes here. We're looking at the high school graduation view, and that's important. And then when I'm going to add a class here, I've decided, okay, let's start with English. I typed in the number here on this little drop down, 1603. English 1 pops up. So the next screen here is where I would click on English 1. And moving on, I would click on this button here, add to plan. When I click on add to plan, this pop-up pops up. You select the grade level. So like I said before, we are focusing on 9th grade and 9th grade only. So all of the classes that you input into your academic plan should be for your 9th grade year. And then it's going to ask you the term. Almost every single class that you sign up for this year is going to be a year-long class, okay? So most of them will be year-long, with the exception of, we've talked about health and career explorations. That would probably be one of the only classes I could think of for freshman year where it's not going to be a year-long class. Health is 1 semester, career explorations is another semester. And so on the drop down here for term, your option is not year-long. Your option is semester 1, semester 2. And so you put in health and you pick semester 1, you put in career explorations, you pick semester 2. Those semester 1, semester 2 terms are really just placeholders. The computer is going to generate which semester you ultimately get put into. But just FYI, most of your classes will be year-long classes. Health and career explorations will be semester-long classes. So then you click on place this course. And when you do that, oh, I did this last time too. Sorry, I should have shown you a screen of how it shows up. But let's pretend with algebra as well. So I picked algebra on here. This is a class that is not specific to just a 9th grader. So my options are all 4 grade levels. Again, I'm going to pick 9th grade. And then that's where you can see here, you get a little preview of the classes being placed into 9th grade. So career explorations, you can see it's just half of the year. It's only under semester 2. You've got English as a year-long class. You've got foreign language, or foreign language or visual performing arts, which is there. this is fluid. You guys can go in there tonight and look at it and decide, yeah, I like this, I'm going to submit it, and then come back tomorrow and say, you know, I said I was going to do Spanish, but I changed my mind, I want to do French instead. You can come back and edit it. The biggest thing that you need to know, though, is once you have submitted it and you're done, we need to have you submit for sure no later than the 8th, Monday at 6 p.m. And you're going to do that by clicking this little drop down arrow here. And then this pops up, submit my plan for counselor review. That will then generate that academic plan over to me or to Mr. Patterson so that we can take a look and we can see that you've put in your academic plan. So you should have all the courses that you've selected in your pink card or on your pink card put into the academic plan here. So again, there's a PDF on how to do this. There's a video on how to do this. I think we've done a pretty good job of outlining it as best we can. But again, I realize we threw everything but the kitchen sink at you just now, and it's a lot. There's a big change coming up in your kids' lives, and we're excited to be a part of it. One thing that I want to carefully remind you all of, so Mr. Patterson and I, we are stoked to meet your kids and work with you over the next 4 years. But we're currently still working with our class of 2021, those fabulous seniors that we just love so much. And so our priority and the bulk of our attention is really focused on getting those kids to graduation and to chapter 2 or whatever chapter 3, 4 they're on in their life. And so as much as we want to be respectful and get back to you in a timely manner, our seniors are taking the priority. And the way that we justify that with you is that when your kids, class of 2025, is in their senior year, we are going to give them our utmost attention and prioritize their needs before we prioritize the needs of the incoming 9th graders. So we will try to get back to you as quickly as we can. But before you email us, because we're already getting inundated with tons of emails from 9th grade students and parents, please exhaust all your resources. So I am going to stop my share for a second to show you a couple places of where you can find information for incoming 9th graders. So if you go to our school website, which I'm very fond of, I think it's a very pretty website. If you go here, this is a ton of information about everything you might want to know about Diamond Bar High School. Dissect this website. It's fantastic. Tons of information here. But if you hover over guidance, grade level coordinators pops up. So you can click on that, and then you see the screen with like 11 of the most fabulous people on campus. Just kidding, but not. And then if you look down here, class of 2025, you've already made our webpage. So this is a wonderful resource for you. If you click on that link right there, it takes you to your page on our webpage. And this is really where we're going to post announcements and keep you in the know for things that you need to be aware of coming into 9th grade. So please look here, check it frequently. That registration packet that we talked about, the orientation, our open house showcase, there was a lot of information there that was really vital for you guys. And if you've exhausted all of these different places and you're still not finding the information that you need, we have created this frequently asked questions link. So you can click on it and it will take you to frequently asked questions. So you will then just need to type in your question here, submit it. Mr. Patterson and I are going to be keeping track of this document, and we will post on the class of 2025 webpage that I just showed you and on our Google Classroom the answers to these questions. Because if you have that question, there's a good chance there's another parent or student that might have the same question, and we want to kind of hit all those birds with the same stones. So please exhaust all your resources. We are here for you. We want to support you, but we also are tied up with our seniors that we want to make sure make it through to graduation effectively. And yes, that's everything I have to say. It's been wonderful chatting with all of you tonight. Mr. Patterson, anything else you want to share for the GLC part?
No, guys, just go through the material, take your time, ask your SSRAs questions. They're very well versed in our school and the requirements as well. You're not going to make a mistake. If you do make a mistake, it can be repaired. We will work with you when we meet with your students next week when we sit down with them through the old computer box. We'll make those adjustments. So please, no panicking over that part of things. We'll get it adjusted. and things will work out for you. And then we're really looking forward to seeing you during our summer meetings. All right, that's going to be a great time. So I'm going to turn it back over to our boss, Mrs. Chang.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for sticking with us. I'm so impressed because we have over 300 parents still trucking it through with us. We have given you a lot of information, but guess what? Just like Mrs. Duenas mentioned, on our Google Classroom, we have simplified Loom videos where she can continue being right next to you while you fill out the cards. And so don't worry, you have the support. Also, thank you for pivoting with your student online and inviting us into your classroom. I mean, you have really acclimated to technology when you were probably not prepared for this as well. So you've done a great job signing on and sticking with us. So populate that frequently asked questions page so that we can get right back to you. And also, thank you for trusting your student with us. We have lots of things that the world just and society has thrown at us, but you still trust your community, and we are so excited to have open arms for you. So we just want to thank you for that in the most utmost respect way. Also, in order to prioritize your students, we've also worked very closely with your SSRA. So at each of the middle schools, we have equipped your SSRA to personally be able to answer any questions. They've been trained on how to circle the course request form. They also know which part of the academic plan to populate. So if you contact your SSRA team first, they will give you the live instructions that can really get you through that process. And then when they can't and they get stuck, they ask us too. So it's a great partnership that we have with your middle schools. And we're looking forward to actually doing vertical articulation so we can make sure that we have all the information we need to know to welcome our ninth graders. So thank you again for sticking with us. We really appreciate your time. It was very valuable, and we wish you luck. Thank you so much. Dr. Jones, do you have any other words?
I just want to say thank you to all of the team that just presented. And that word team, I want to emphasize for all of our parents and students. If you get one of us, you got us all. Yeah. So if you get a hold of Miss Galindo and you ask her about history, she's going to do her best to answer and then connect that with Mr. Aguilar. If you get athletics and you have a question about a club, he's going to get that to Miss Van Horn. We're a team. And I just can't tell you how proud I am to work with everyone that just shared from their heart. You heard it. You heard how they care for your children. And we're so thankful to have that opportunity to work with all of you. So again, thank you, Ms. Chang, for just putting all this together for our parents. And one last comment about the Q&A. I really, really want to emphasize what Ms. Duenas said. Please give them space right now to support the seniors. The class of 2021, they are going to run through a wall for you as soon as we graduate this class. So that being said, there's 55 questions that I see in the Q&A. I know that the team was answering questions for you in real time during this webinar, but I also know they probably didn't get to all of them. So we will go through those questions. And if it's a pressing question that you need an answer for right away to help be resolved, you'll hear back from us right away. If it's something that you can find by going through the website and those other tools, please follow that advice that Ms. Duenas said. It's really good. There's so much information on the website that we have available for you. And as Mr. Patterson has said, you're not going to miss anything. So again, thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for this honor to work with your children. And on behalf of Diamond Bar High School, we welcome you to our campus. Good night, everyone.